These people think you're cold-hearted because your cutoff game is strong. These people think that you are cold-hearted to the core because you cut people off and don't apologize for it. See, what happens with a woman, especially when you are dealing with a woman who has gone through some stuff, when she has been around that toxic, envious energy of men and women alike, when she has sat in the company of vultures, people who look at her in disgust, as if everything she does and says makes them very disgusted, she is quick to cut those people off. But see, when you're a younger woman, maybe you didn't recognize those kind of things. You didn't recognize the envious stares, the stares of disdain, the stares of animosity, the looks of disgust when people are in your presence. But when your cutoff game becomes strong, you start recognizing that bad energy and you remove yourself from it. You cut ties and disassociate with those people. You see, grown women, women in the queen energy, the one thing we don't tolerate is dealing with those envy stares, those envious actions, and we do not deal with people who act like they like us and somehow tolerate us as if they're doing us a favor. See, when your cutoff game becomes so strong, you start valuing yourself so much so that you do not allow people in your circle who are pretenders. What do I mean by pretenders? These are your people who tend to like you for specific reasons only, but in other ways, they're very disgusted by you. They have animosity towards you. They have resentment towards you. But because of the one thing, they tend to tolerate you. See, grown women, we have that all or nothing. Meaning, if you are not a genuine person, we will cut you off. And we can recognize and spot when somebody is not being genuine, and we can spot a person who is our opposition, somebody who is going against us. Anytime people, and this is the first way you can tell that you are dealing with your opposition, and this is the reason why your cutoff game needs to be strong. People might look at you like you're cold-hearted for it, but so what? When people constantly give you that envious stare, when people constantly give you that envious attitude, what do I mean by that? For women, let's say you change your looks, you change up how you dress, you change up how you speak. People who are truly your friends, family, people who actually vibe with you, they will look at you and say, oh, you look good. They'll look at you and say, oh, that's nice. Or at least they will just respect you. But people who are secretly envious of you, people who give you that negative energy but still want to be around you, they look at you as if they are so disgusted by you. It's as if they have smelled the stench of trash. And sometimes if you're a little naive and you have not yet developed your cutoff game, you will continue to tolerate being around women specifically who every time you level up or do something better in some way, they're looking at you as if they're disgusted with you. Many women have experienced this. Have you ever gotten a new job, or you mentioned something in passing to a relative or to a friend, something that you're doing good? Maybe you got a promotion on your job, or you're making more money, or you move to a better area. Suddenly their energy gets very sour. It's like they're looking at you like, oh, that's good, that's nice, as if they smelled something horribly bad. That is that envious stare, that is that envious energy. And the more you experience that, the less tolerance you have for it. And that's when your cutoff game gets very strong. But see, people who are envious and they want to be able to be around you to spread that misery, hoping that they can somehow distract you, when you cut them off, when you deny them access, when you spot the opposition, and opposition is nothing more than people who are against you, but pretending oftentimes to be on your team. When you spot that and cut them off, now they accuse you of being cold-hearted. Now they accuse you of being problematic. Oh, you think too much of yourself. Anytime you do not want to be around people who are always bitter, sour, and trying to spread their negativity onto you, that does not make you cold-hearted. That makes you wise. There is nothing wrong with cutting off people who always want to be negative in your presence. There are some people who just cannot be happy for you because they are not happy for themselves. And because of that, they like to spread their envy in the way of staring at you and giving you bad energy. And I want to backtrack on this staring. Because women, and I have to say it exactly how it is, some women do not like to see other women who take care of themselves. Some women get very triggered and irritated by women who keep themselves together, especially when they don't. You will often see this frustration, this envious stare, this jealous negativity from the bonnet brigade. The bonnet brigade. The group of bonnet wearers that like to come down on women who actually take care of themselves. Now, why I do not subscribe to wearing bonnets in public, and the message is not about bonnets, I'm giving you this to say there are certain types of women who you will normally get the envy stare from. It will be those women who do not care about how they look, do not care about how they present, and because of it, when they see you dressed up, when they see you looking good, they're going to stare you down. And any woman who has dealt with this knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's that stare of tension and uneasiness. They want you to feel like you are in harm's way simply for looking good and feeling good. Once you get to a point where you have experienced that enough, you don't even want to associate with anything or anybody that resembles that level of envy and jealousy. And that's all that it is. So your cutoff game becomes very strong, especially when you have dealt with a lot of envious people who give you that envy stare, that look of disgust, and you no longer tolerate it. See, we have got so comfortable, and I know this might rub some people the wrong way. Let me sip some of my water. We have gotten so comfortable, especially in the Black community. We have gotten so comfortable with giving each other that, who do you think you are kind of look, where we actually accept that as some kind of term of endearment, as if a woman looking at you like you're disgusting is somehow, that's a compliment. You're looking your best, you're feeling your best, and then your own mother, your aunt, your cousin, your friend is looking at you like, that's not okay. Your cutoff game becomes strong when you realize that's not okay. That's some kind of psychological warfare. You're trying to play with me. You're trying to play with my emotions. You're trying to tell me that I'm not that girl when I know I am. You're trying to make me feel small because you feel small about yourself. So when you recognize those kind of behaviors, your cutoff game becomes strong. Also, when you notice that people are trying to manipulate you out of your spot, your cutoff game becomes strong. When you spot the opposition, when you spot the op, you recognize that these people are trying to get in your way so that you do not fulfill the things that you are going after. This could be a job, this could be a relationship, it can be anything that you are going after. Anytime you have a person, specifically for women, when a woman is your opposition and you recognize that every time you're trying to do something great for yourself, she comes in with something negative, be it in her speech or her actions, you cut her off. See, these people will look around at you like, isn't that your best friend? Isn't that your closest cousin? Isn't that your closest relative? Didn't y'all grow up together? The older you get, the less you care about the history and the more you care about your peace. And that may sound very cold-hearted to some people, but your cutoff game has become so strong that you no longer tolerate mistreatment. You no longer tolerate envy, jealousy, and sabotage and call it a healthy friendship or relationship. But some people, because they are used to dysfunction, and this is the one thing, when you spot the opposition, when you actually, your cutoff game becomes strong, you no longer hold on to the opposition for the sake of relationship. You no longer hold on to dysfunction as normal because you're trying to create the illusion of closeness. Your cutoff game becomes strong. You don't want to fake closeness with anybody if it requires you to put down your respect, your dignity, and the way you see yourself. See, there are some people who want you to look at yourself as nothing because that's how they feel about themselves. And if they can pull you down to where they are, they will do it. And that's the reason why your cutoff game has become so strong. You're not dealing with the envy. You're not dealing with the jealous negativity. You're not dealing with the manipulation, and they call you cold-hearted for it. Many people have accused me of being cold-hearted, cold-blooded, simply because, well, ain't that your brother? Ain't that whoever? No. When you have been burned so much by people, it's not that you hate them, because hate is not something you want to carry in your heart. And women who, especially wise, discerning women who lean into their femininity, as I see it, we forgive people not for them, but for ourselves. We cannot hang on to unforgiveness, not because of them, but for ourselves. But that does not mean that you still do not cut people off. Cutting people off is required for a healthy self-being, well-being for many of us. But see, they'll call you cold-hearted simply because now they're not able to get over on you. Now they're not able to get away with the slick little tricks and games and things they used to do to you. You have peeped the shade, you recognize their behavior, and you don't call them out. And that's the thing about women. Maybe they call you cold-hearted because your cutoff game is strong, and they accuse you of being cold-hearted. It's because you are past the point of explaining the reason why you cut people off. That's another reason why some people may call you cold-hearted, because you recognize the envy, you recognize the jealous negativity, and you don't say anything about it. See, there's something powerful about a woman who just recognizes negativity and removes herself from it. And you are that kind of woman. You're the kind of woman who sees something, but then you don't necessarily have to try to get people to change. You don't try to get people to see your way. You don't try to get people to understand. Most people who don't really like you are people who are envious of you in some way, and they want to be able to manipulate you. You understand that trying to get through to those kind of people oftentimes is very empty feat. It's a very empty, goal to go after, because they want to hear, they want to see what they want to see. You just cut them off. There is something peaceful and peace preserving for yourself as a woman when you no longer try to get people to understand, you no longer try to explain yourself, you just simply cut people off and move about your life. So as a woman, if people accuse you of being cold-hearted because your cutoff game is strong, you spot the opposition, you see the people who are only there to come against you, not really to be on your side, the people who only tolerate you and don't really like to mess with you like that, that's okay. And for the life of me, there are some women, they always try to fit in with groups of women who, it is very obvious, don't really like them. And I think sometimes women do this because of that whole tribalism mentality. What do I mean by tribalism? When women have been taught that being by themselves, or somehow, not having any friends, appears to be, negative, as if there has to be something wrong with you if you don't have any friends, or if you are a loner, or if you're a woman who has very few friends. Some women have been programmed to believe that if they don't have any friends or anybody they call best friend or close friend, somehow it's something wrong with their personality, as if they've done something to repel other women from wanting to be their friends. But I'm telling you that that is not always the case. Sometimes women refuse to be friends with other women because they have been hurt so much in the past, and that's why they are quick to cut other people off. That's why they are quick to recognize when a woman is using them for something that is wrong, something that is negative, and just cut off the friendship or the relationship in the beginning. I'll give you an example of a friendship that is really not a friendship, or a relationship that is really not a relationship and should be cut off. I saw a video of a woman. These had to be younger women, maybe in their early 20s, mid 20s. And the one friend, they were in the car. The one woman, she kept putting her hands on this other young lady. Every time she said something, she shoved her. Anytime she did something, she actually hit her in the head. She was very physically abrasive with this woman she called her friend. You have some women, they just want to befriend other women so that they can take out their aggression on you, so that they can bully you. This is a woman who might not really even like you, but they see an opportunity, they're the opposition, to come against you in some way. And sometimes this can even be in the form of physical issues. I'm watching my words, but when a woman gets highly physical with you, that is very clear that she does not like you, and you should cut that person off. And many women have dealt with that, female bullying. Many women have dealt with being with overbearing or being around overbearing women. Every time, their way of playing with you is touching you, shoving you, pushing you, hitting you, acting like they're just doing it in play. I have never had to have a relationship or friendship with another woman, another person that required them putting their hands on me. But there are some women who have. They have a so-called friend. Every time you turn around, they're shoving you, they're pushing you, they're mugging you all in your head. I've seen this in person. Very overbearing, abrasive behavior from other women. That's another reason why some women's cutoff game is very strong, because they don't want to take the abrasiveness. Why would another woman have to put her hands on another woman in order to be friends? This roughhousing and playing. My first thought is like, how old are we? Aren't we grown women? We don't do things like that. And you should never accept that kind of behavior as normal. And many women have been through it and they cut them off. So some people might think that you are cold-hearted because your cutoff game is strong. You're not wrong. You spot the opposition, you spot the toxic behavior, you spot the negativity, the hidden envy, and you've chosen to remove yourself from it. You didn't take time to explain yourself, nor did you take time to try to get other people to understand. As you get older as a woman and mature, you realize all of that is not even necessary. And if you decide to approach people on the behavior and the things that they're doing and saying to you, if they don't receive it, then you have to shake the dust off your feet and keep on going. Because a lot of people, they only want to be close to you based on their terms. And often their terms are based on taking advantage of your kindness and using it as weakness. Some people think you're too nice to cut them off. But when you do it, they accuse you of being cold-hearted. And I will say, that's on them. All right? Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.